evaporated because I was
You condensed it.
looking in the wrong place.
You evaporated it.
All right, yes, Carter can have that one that Sophie.
You ready? Let's wait until Bob's got it. So wait, this is
The new
the
chambre.
chambre.
This place is sort of locked.
Got it? So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
So what a novel idea. The cantor and the rabbi on the bema at the same time.
It never happens.
It has not happened for the last 2 months. It is good to be back at full strength. It's good to be here. And it's good to welcome you back, Cantor Davidson, after 2 weeks at camp.
Thank you.
And Sophia after 8 weeks at camp. And Karen after 4 weeks, and Avi after 2 weeks. It's good to bring a little bit of Camp Newman right back here to the Temple of Bethel. What a week. What a week it's been. And I'm glad that we're here. I'm glad that we're here to draw strength from one another. I'm glad that we are here to pray with one another and to pray and hope and be the light that we can bring into each other's lives, into the lives of our larger community. So as we prepare to enter into Shabbat, into this cathedral of time, as I wrote about today, and to just ignore the past week for the next hour or so, or at least until I talk about it a little bit later. Let's just take a moment just to take a deep breath. Inhale all the freshness, the beauty, the joy that Shabbat can be. Exhale everything from this past week that caused us tension, or anguish, even disgust. Breathe in the light of life and joy. Exhale images of hate. Inhale the second sweet soul of Shabbat that will sustain us through these next 24 hours. So as we continue our service on the screen. Yeah. Just about everything tonight is on the screen. So you can be in the Cedar room if you like. We can look at the screen. I'd like to invite you to the scroll, representing Sister, to kindle the sound lights.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
I invite you to please stand if you are able as we join together in singing Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'gafel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshan b'mitzvotav v'hatzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahav ratzon v'nechilanu zikaron le'maaseh bereishit tibuyot tefilah le'mikra'ei kodesh zecher le'tziyat mitzrayim ki'anu v'charta yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshcha be'ahava u'beratzon hilchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen. Chaim.
While everyone is still standing and before we continue, just take a moment to reach out to your neighbor and wish those around you Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, neighbors.
You can take your seats. Again, the words are on the screen, but if you like being in the book, you can. It's on front page 128, Hine Mato.
Raining is continue with Lechuna Ranana. Whoops.
Every Friday night in the holy city at Sfat, the Kabbalists would go out into the fields and to look out into the mountains in the distance and to welcome the Sabbath bride. This view inspired Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz to write a poem about this vision, this sight, which we sing to welcome the Sabbath bride into our midst. L'chadodi, beloved, come meet the bride, beloved, come greet Shabbat. On the screen or on page 138.
Ya la 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 la, l'chadodi. La 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 la, likrat kala. La 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 la, v'nei Shabbat, v'nei Shabbat nekabela. La
enter into prayer together. For our prayer for the evening Ma'ariv Aravim tonight, I share these thoughts, this poem, this blessing by Roger Price, who invites us to think what's going to happen on Monday. We know that there are a lot of people in our congregation who are somewhere in this path of totality. We're just going to get a path of half something or whatever. But as an eclipse, no matter full or partial, elicits awe and gratitude, let's think about these blessings. As an eclipse nears, Baruch Atah, blessed is the source of life that fashioned the stars, that sends forth heat from the sun to warm us and light from the sun to nourish the food we eat and provide the wonderful colors that so enrich our lives. When in the shadow, Modim Anachnu Lach, we are thankful for the opportunity to be reminded how fleeting and precious our time here is, how bound we are one to the other, how much we should treasure the moments we have and the people with whom we share this most amazing planet. And as light emerges, Baruch Atah, blessed is the sustainer of life. May we be refreshed and renewed by the harmony of the spheres, and may our lives be worthy of the gift we have received and continue to receive, the arrangements of the cosmos. Baruch Atah Adonai, HaMa'ariv Aravim.
We are on page 150. Everlasting love. You offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night will we reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Adonai Israel.
Adonai continue with Micha Mocha. You'll find this reading on the page just before the prayer. You may be seated. Standing on the shores of history, still believe what we were taught. Before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it's eternally Egypt. That there's a better place, a promised land, and the winding way that promise passes through the wilderness. That there's no easy way to get from here to there, except by joining hands and marching together, singing ya la 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 la
Hashkivenu, our evening prayer, which we'll sing in just a moment, is based on the words on the left-hand side of the page on 161. If Hashkivenu is a prayer about inviting God's peaceful presence to shelter us under the sukkah, this tent, the shelter of peace, I think especially this week, this reading applies. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. That we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. That we may rise up together, to come together, to act, to find the good companions that we need to surround ourselves with. So we sing these words. If you're a child, go find a parent. Nick's always coming up to her dad. Mom's coming up to his dad.
Understanding among
Shem Tov asks, why are we told to recite the verse, "O God, open my lips, and let my mouth declare your praise," before our most sacred prayer? Like banks to a river, lips form the outer edges of human speech. We pray that God may release us from those limits so that our mouths may declare God's endless praise. As we prepare to enter into the blessings of the tefillah, the central blessings for Shabbat, we'll share these words silently tonight. We'll enter in together with Adonai Sefatai Tiftach, and then we'll take our own time for extended silence. You can pray the words of the tradition in the prayer book between pages 164 and 181. You can just take some time to reflect inward on what you need from this Shabbat, the blessings, the praises you want to offer, and what you need to celebrate this Shabbat. I invite you to please stand if you are able as we enter in together. Sit when your own private prayer is complete.
Adonai
Before we share a Misha Berach for healing, I shared this poem written by Alden Solovoy. We will not yield. Today, I am neither Democrat nor Republican, neither left nor right nor center. I am an American, born to a legacy of truth and justice, born to a legacy of freedom and equality. Today, I am a patriot who will not yield this nation to hate, not to neo-Nazis, not to thugs self-styled as militia, not to slogans or chants, not to gestures or flags, not to threats and not to violence. Hate is hate, ugly and brutal, and we will not yield. Today, I am Christian, Muslim, and Jew, Catholic, Buddhist, Hindu, and Sikh, atheist and agnostic. I am Asian, Latino, Hispanic, African American, white, Native American, and multiracial. I am an immigrant, a child of the American Revolution, a veteran and a soldier. I work in the dark depths of the mines and the high towers of Wall Street, in the factories and the farms, in our hospitals and strip malls. I am gay, lesbian, straight, bi, trans, man, woman, and gender neutral. I am young, old, blind, and deaf, hearing and sighted, disabled, powerful, and unafraid. Truth is truth, that all are created equal, and we will not yield. Today, I am an American, a citizen of the United States, a child of this great democracy, a child of this wise republic, dedicated to liberty, dedicated to action. We will not yield. Words, action, and prayer.
all bring about healing. As we lift our thoughts and prayers together as a community for a nation that certainly is in great need of healing, we also think about the individuals in our lives, loved ones, friends, family, who are in need of our prayers of healing for their illnesses of body, mind, or spirit. In just a moment, we will sing together Mishaberach L'Refuah, our prayer for healing. Before we do, if you'd like to stand or get my attention for a moment and share aloud the name or names of those for whom you are praying the Shabbat, please do so now.
Jean Profanato.
Great Israel, Robert Hughes. Shalom Gallic, Aaron Fadlish, Andrew Smith, Sam Rockwell, and Sam Cooper.
Daniel and Sophia Sabat.
Okay.
Armaniana Bannon, Aaron Australia, Rick Fury, and of course Joel Neal.
Jan Marquetti.
Mary Herman Scher, Jessica Scher, Selena Sophie Whiteman. And my mom, Zrika Sophia, Kevin, and Jen McKay. Ernie Herman. Rick Ivan.
And Canaan Roll. For those names, those whose names we hold in our hearts, we pray together.
Abraham, Yitzchak,
presence is with all of those in need. We also, amen.
I'd like to share a brief story and a brief teaching tonight. And I apologize if you've heard the story before, but it's one that, in the context of this week and tonight, I thought would be appropriate. Once upon a time, in a town, there's a very wealthy man. And this man wanted to build a synagogue. A brand new, beautiful synagogue with the finest features, with the finest architectural furnishings. That would be really the envy of anyone who came into this town, and everyone in the town to see this beautiful religious structure. But the old man was going to finance it, and the rich man was going to finance it completely on his own. Only he worked with the architect to see the plans. Only he worked with the project manager. Only he worked with the general contractor. He was the only one who saw what was happening. Nobody was able to get anywhere near this place. A year went by, and the townspeople saw the trucks going in and out. They had some idea of what was happening. And then finally, the synagogue was ready to be dedicated. So all the townspeople gathered, all who were going to come to the synagogue, not only the Jews in the town, but the people who weren't Jewish as well, because they were so curious about this big building project that nobody knew anything about. The time came, the man who helped build the building, who paid for the building, affixed the mezuzah to the door, opened the door, and the people just rushed in. And they went into every room. They went into the sanctuary. They went into the social hall. They went into the classrooms. They even went into the kitchen. They even looked at the bathrooms. They were so amazed at what a beautiful, beautiful building and synagogue and sacred space this was. But after a while, people began to notice something strange. Around all the rooms and hanging from the ceiling were hooks. Not lights, but hooks. And the townspeople began to question. They said, "Sir, how could you spend all of this money on this building and not put a single light into this place?" To which the wealthy man revealed the genius of his plan. He brought in carts and carts of lights, and he distributed a light to every single person who was there. And he said, "This is how we light this building. When you come, you bring your light. You hang your light on the hook. You bring your light into this place. If you don't come, there will be no light. And if all of you come together, light will fill this place." I think of this image of light this week because just 1 week ago tonight, we saw a very dangerous light. The light of torches carried by mostly men and some women. And God, I hope no children, I don't know. Yelling the most vile, hateful slogans, carrying that light and those torches of destruction. Yet just 2 nights ago, in that same battered and bruised college town, Charlottesville, people gathered with candlelight. Men and women and children, different races, ethnicities, religions, colors, creeds. They came together to bring candlelight, a light of peace, a light that shines hope and wholeness into the community as a way to bring healing. And I think of that image, the hate-filled torches and the hope and love-filled candlelight, as something that we need to hold on to, this candlelight. And it takes me to this teaching that comes from this week's Haftarah, which comes from the prophet Isaiah. The prophet Isaiah, during these weeks between Tisha B'Av, this commemoration
this day that commemorates the destruction of the first and second temples. And from the 7 weeks that lead up to Rosh Hashanah, the Haftarot, the prophetic sections, are ones that are supposed to uplift and give us comfort in a time of distress and sadness and despair. Isaiah teaches, the world as it is said, and all your children, Banaich, shall be taught of the eternal, and great shall be the peace of your children. A famous midrash teaches, do not read Banaich, children, but rather Bonaich, your builders. And it's an important distinction to make between our children and our builders. Because truly our children are the builders of our society. The ones who will grow up, I hope and pray, with love in their hearts and the ability to bring healing and wholeness, the ability to act in the face of injustice, in the face of racism, to act and combat those who are in power, who hold positions of power, who don't speak words of truth, who don't speak words of unity. Those children will rise up and build our world that we need with love, compassion, and God willing the ability to speak up and to speak out to make our world whole and at peace again. I don't know what's going to happen over these next few weeks. I'm not going to even try writing a high holiday sermon based on anything that's happening currently, because I'll probably have to change it the week before. But I hope and pray that there's one little sliver of hope and possibility that comes from what happened in this past week, as that our communities will mobilize in love and will come together. Communities and clergy that transcend our different faiths, our different races and creeds, come together to build this world with love. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here this evening representing the Board of Directors. Many thanks to Sisterhood, who will be hosting our Oneg Shabbat. We have a lot of great activities coming up, and we hope to see you at as many of them as possible. Please join us for the final, and I capitalized here, final, concert under the stars with Cantor Davidson and guests tomorrow evening. The concert will be hosted at the home of Gail and Elliot Schwartz. Bring your own picnic dinner begins at 6 p.m. and the concert will start at 7 p.m. If you are interested in attending, please see Cantor Davidson after services, as RSVPs are required to enter into a gated community. And I understand we're going to have 4 cantors?
Well, 5 if you count me.
We count you. 4. 5 cantors. Now, can you imagine 5 cantors at one
Can't
time?
imagine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really looking forward to it. We are gearing up for the High Holy Days, and we like to invite you to the High Holy Days Boot Camp with Rabbi Chuck. Boot Camp will be held on Sunday, August 27th, from 10 a.m. to noon. Bring friends with you to learn about the High Holy Days and explore our new Mazor. Boot camp is free, and one complimentary High Holy Day ticket will be given to each adult participant. And don't forget to purchase the new High Holy Days Mazor to use this year. And remember, we are collecting the previously used High Holy Day prayer books to donate to our friend Cantor Sam Radwine to use at his new congregation in Arkansas. Please bring your Gates of Repentance prayer books to the TB office by September 1st. Please, everybody, don't forget to visit the gift shop tonight. Finally, we are excited for our Farewell to Summer Barbecue Shabbat on Friday, September 1st. Bring your friends, bring your family, and let's celebrate the end of summer together. We will have a delicious barbecue dinner followed by our family Shabbat service. Reservations can be made through Carrie in the temple office. Thank you, everybody, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Also, a special thank you to the Moody Jews, to Carter. Oh, yeah, you're sorry. You're new here, sorry. Yeah, call the Moody Jews. Carter, Grant, Maurice, and Bob, and Cantor Davidson. They're very moody, yes.
Don't laugh at us when you moody.
You know, you say it every month, you forget that. It's like kind of funny that way. So,
It's the best name we ever made.
it's a very good name.
It's a good name.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you guys for lifting us up with your beautiful music tonight. And also just a very special welcome to visitors and guests who are here maybe for the first time, and a very special welcome back and welcome home to Barbara and Bob. What a great surprise to see you tonight. Great to have you here. So make sure you say hello, and that your fingers are doing okay because you're not playing. You're okay? You're all right? You're okay. Are you airplaying piano right now? Is that what you're doing? Are you airplaying? Yeah, there you go. So great to see you. And you can say hi during the Oneg Shabbat. Our concluding prayers begin on page, our concluding prayers begin on the screen. Sorry, or on page 586. Elena, please stand if you're able. We use these. Next year. There are stars up above, so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. If you are observing the recent death of a loved one in the last 7 or 30 days, or are observing the Yortzeit, the anniversary of the death of a loved one, when I recite that person's name, please stand and remain standing until all the names have been shared. And together we will stand as one community to to recite Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. In our community, we are not observing Shiva or Shloshim, for anyone in our community, but certainly in our nation and the world, we remember Heather Heyer, who was killed last week in Charlottesville, and we remember the 14 victims of the attack yesterday in Barcelona. In our community, we remember with love Sarah Belzer Turkin, Edith Ben Coyle, Norman Blatt, Kitty Cohn, Saul Ettinger, Maurice Feigenbaum, Meyer Pincus Fellerman, Stephen Fox, Estelle Griesdorf, Boris Grove, Harry Hirschman, Gregorio Igdal, Arthur Joseph Jacobson, Joseph Kaiser, Rudolph Kaplan, Zadie Aaron Kramer, Abraham Harold Mosenson, Rose Posen, Fanny Rogoff, Sadie Rubenfeld, Joseph Samuel, Jenny Kaplan Sharon, Betty Schnagel, Raymond Schreiber, Maurice Siegel, and Dr. Stephen Sosnick. If you're remembering someone this Shabbat and I neglected to share the name, please stand and share the name aloud.
Glory be to God.
Zichronam levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Please stand if you're able.
Gadal v'yikadash shemei rabah, v'yamad yivrach v'yutei v'yamlik malchutei, v'chai echon v'yom echon u'v'chayei b'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala b'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevorach le'olam l'amei amayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yithoman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yithalel v'yithalal shmei v'yishah v'yirku. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, tamiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Can we touch one another?
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Amen.
challah, take some attention to the challah. Let's sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamosi lechem mi'aretz, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. There you go. Play. 2, 3, 4.
Just when you thought you were in charge.
I was with you.
He's like, top.
I'm so sorry.
You guys, this was a fabulous service tonight. It really was smooth and wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
God, the intro was, I don't know what it
What was
was.
that? What was that little music playing in the cultural guard?
It was killer good.
I think it was the beginning of it.
Which one?
Remember Twitch?
Oh my God, you noodling after Chuck's story was the most gorgeous thing.
It was incredible.
It was gorgeous, and it resolved to this beautiful and hopeful thing. It was fabulous. You're gonna have to go back and listen to it.
My wife watches.